who boldly go where no man has gone before.
Boldly taking talk radio where it has never gone before. New vistas, new voices, new views, new visions, new victories. We're KBLA Talk 1580, and we're taking public media black.
Drums, please.
You know we gotta let this vibe for a little bit because tonight it is the first night of summer and we've been paying homage to all of our favorite songs that sound like summer. That's important because it is summertime and it is the best season, at least for me. My birthday, I'm actually a spring baby. My birthday was May 1st. I'm a Taurus, a true Taurus. That means that I like food, I like ambiance, and most of all, I like it comfortable. So being comfortable requires what? Heat, warmth, good music, a good beverage. So that's what all the things that summertime brings. We are in hour 3 of RSVP with Jill Munroe. And for hour 3, I'm not alone. I am being joined in the studio by my good friend, Trent the artist. If you were listening to the show last night, Trent was here and he is back to talk trending topics and lifestyle things and to get you guys going because apparently you aren't lit enough tonight. The phone lines, we've had one brave caller. So if anybody else there, you guys are active in the chat. I think that you should call and talk to me face to face about it. You gonna get them riled up, Trent? 800-920-1580. You can also hit us up on all of our socials at KBLA 1580. I am at Stiletto Jill. We love comments. We love feedback. We love to chat. So make sure you're doing that. You can also download the app. Check us out live on the website. There are so many ways to reach us and that we can talk about things and share and get closer. So, Trent, I don't know if you heard my question of the day, my good question, I should say. What song feels like summer to you?
Yeah, I did hear that. Summertime, obviously. Marie, Why Don't We Fall in Love was a good one. And I was
Janet?
Yeah, well, actually, Janet does have a song called On and On. It's a B-side to.
And this feeling. I can't sing, y'all.
It's a B-side to Because of Love, and it's actually a song about summertime.
There it is.
So that's
right
one
there.
of my favorite songs. Yeah.
And that's it, just one.
For summer, yeah.
You liked for summer, yeah. Calm down.
There's so many summer songs. I can't think of them off. I'm getting old, so it's like trying to process and dig up 40 years worth of songs is a little. Computer's running a little slow.
Say that you are vintage. We don't receive the old thing.
Aging is a good thing. I like
aging
it.
is a good thing.
It's everyone doesn't get old and make it, so I like it.
And that is 100% true. But the framing of it, how we present it. Again,
well, we can change that because you hear old. It's not necessarily. I'm aging, and we all know that the best merchandise comes from older, established stores. So I'm not really worried about aging too much. Fine wine.
Okay. Well, shout out to Tony Yayo in the chat. He said that he saw the show on Giandra LaBeouf, who was our guest earlier, on her Twitter feed and decided to tune in. I thank you for that. I hope you will continue rocking with us. Giandra will definitely be back on the show. So make sure that you are telling a friend to tell a friend to tell another friend.
I had a few listeners that listened last night, and they were very, very, very active about what their feedback on the show. So they might be actually listening tonight.
Okay, well, we like that. If you have feedback, please drop it in the chat.
They like it. They like
Call
your
in
show.
on the phone lines.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
They weren't too sure about me though.
What do you mean?
Well, because they listen to my show, so they know that I take it all the way left, and I was very PG-13 for your show.
Listen, and I did give the disclaimer.
So
I said, Trent,
it's a new side for them.
It is a new side. I said, Trent, this is on FCC airwaves.
It's the mainstream Trent.
It is the mainstream
Commercial
Trent.
Trent.
Commercial Trent, because
Watered down.
there is a reason why they call you the keep it real friend, right?
Yeah. Totally.
So Andy said he wants to let you know you can still keep it real. You can always.
I know. Last night, cause see, I gauged with Andy and Tavis. I heard the laughing behind my comments, so I was gauging. I'm like, okay, I can go a little bit further. I can go. I like to ride the fence, so not tip over.
Not tip over.
Can I confirm?
Weeble wobbles wobble,
Confirm,
but they
Andy.
don't
Let
fall
us
down.
know.
My brother, keep it all the way real.
Thank you for that. So
But
now that I've gotten permission,
But it's PG-13. You know what I'm saying? As far as language.
well, I'll take it. I'll take it to an R.
We'll take it to an R.
I'll take it
Okay.
to an R,
Yeah. Because R really.
NC-17.
No. No. We're not there yet. We are not there
For
yet.
11 o'clock at night, we need to be. We got to keep the people up.
Let's go slow. It's my second day.
Look, listen.
It's my second day.
Full throttle on day 2. Let them know what it is. We got to get that stand power going. Come on.
Not with no NC-17.
Okay, we'll take it to the R.
R.
Take it.
R.
All right.
R is pretty far. R is racy.
Yeah.
R has some bite to it.
Yeah.
It's
Radiant.
Radiant.
Yes.
Exactly. I like that word. That word works for me. So let's talk about some trending topics.
Mm-hmm.
I mentioned Tia Mowry. Her divorce is final.
This is not a money grab. See? We dealt with all the money grabbing last night. This is not a money grab.
The
Or is it?
sister star gets the $4.3 million family home in her divorce. She won't have to pay a dime in spousal support, child support, any of that. They will split the cost of the child care costs for their 2 children 50-50, which is fair. But some people were complaining that if the roles were reversed, and Corey had been the one that when they got together in their relationship who had more of a career, more of a higher profile, and they were together for, I'm not sure how many years they've been married, but I know that they have been dating for at least 20 years. He would have been paying spousal support. 100%. More than likely. I mean, there are some that, we just end on amicable terms and move around, but what do you think about the fact that Corey isn't receiving spousal support? Do you think it's fair? Do you think that it's inappropriate?
Well, we don't know what they disclosed. She could have cut him a check off the side and did everything off record. We don't know that. She doesn't strike me as the kind of person that is vindictive or malicious, very fair. But also, he benefited during the marriage.
Absolutely, 100%.
So why continue to take when you benefited during the marriage?
I mean, well, just playing devil's advocate, because I'm with that. I respect that. But some people will, again, point to the discrepancies between what would happen with a woman who, may have been in a similar position as Corey for 20 years and Corey being a man, because there are certain male-defined roles that we want to see happen and adhere to. To your point, they very much could have a private situation. I think that Tia probably had a hell of a prenup, and that's what we're not talking about.
I think she had a really good prenup, but I also think that she took care of him because she knew what the nature of her relationship was, and that's what she signed up for. But also, too, when men get in situations like that and they take alimony or spousal support afterwards, they get drugged through the mud for that. And it doesn't look too masculine,
I can agree with that.
So,
we're gonna put a pin in that because we are going to take a small pause. When we come forward, we're gonna get back to this topic and whether or not it is masculine to take spousal support. You are listening to RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Infusing a sense of fun and entertainment in every episode. You're listening to RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580. More when we come forward.
What's up, LA? Reparations United and Black Pact got something real special going down in historic Leimert Park. Join us on July 1st, 2023. This event is sponsored by Reparations United and the Black Pact. We are fighting for justice and empowering our community. Together, we're making moves. We got an insane lineup for y'all. Soulful Regina Bell, King of LA, The Game, Smooth Eric Benet, and none other than the one and only Rotimi, and the powerful sounds of blackness. We also got some special guests in the house too, y'all. Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee, State Senator Stephen Bradford, and more. They bringing their passion and leadership to the stage. Mark your calendars, fam. July 1st, 2023. Leimert Park. Let's come together, support each other, and make a difference. Peace, love, and reparations benefit concert and unity rally. Be there or be left out. Produced for you by Tara Perry of Black Pact and Cam Howard of Reparations United.
Some people won't give you the real talk on drugs, but it's time we know the facts. Fentanyl is killing people. It's a powerful opioid, often made illegally and commonly mixed with illicit drugs. It can even be pressed into counterfeit pills that resemble prescription medications. Just 2 milligrams, about the size of a few grains of sand, can potentially be lethal. This isn't an ad to scare you, but it is an ad to make you think twice. Get the facts. Go to realdealonfentanyl.com. This message is brought to you by the Ad Council.
Sometimes we lose, sometimes we win. Sometimes we try to fit it all in. Sometimes we don't know what's in store. Sometimes we find what we're looking for. Sometimes we're rolling easy and free. Sometimes 1 and 1 makes 3. So much to love along this ride. That's why Nationwide is on your side.
Nationwide Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates, Columbus, Ohio.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
The rent is too damn high. KBLA joins you in calling for affordable housing. The LA Tenants Union is a diverse, tenant-led movement fighting for the human right to housing for all. The LA Tenants Union demands safe, affordable housing and union rent control. They organize against landlord harassment, mass evictions, and displacement, and mobilize for the repeal of the Ellis Act and Costa-Hawkins Act. The LA Tenants Union is on a mission to strengthen tenants' political power through education, advocacy, and direct action. To get help with your eviction or other landlord-tenant issues, take action for justice, or become a member, visit latenantsunion.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Keeping you informed, entertained, and always ahead of the curve. This is RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Hey, it's Jill Munroe. Thank you for riding with us tonight on day 2 of RSVP with Jill Munroe. We are here live in Leimert Park. I am sitting across from my guest for the last hour, Trent the artist, and we were just having a conversation. We are talking about Tia Mowry and her now ex-husband, Corey, and their divorce. And the interesting thing about their situation is that Tia didn't have to pay any child support, no alimony, and some people are questioning why. I do think that she probably, because obviously she and her sister have been in the business since they were children, had some type of, really nice prenup. Nice for both of them, but, so that she can retain her home and all of those things. I do think that it was something that was discussed because as women in the entertainment industry, we have seen a lot of women who have married someone that may not be on their level at the time as far as success, and then they lose all of that through divorce. It has happened to Sherry Shepherd. It has happened to Mary J. Blige, obviously, a bunch of others that we can name that have been through that. So do you think that who is going to say it's less than masculine to take that payment out if you feel like you earned it? If you, much like the women, sat there for 20 years, helped out in the house, do you think that there's still no way that most people wouldn't respect you from that?
Well, the trolls on Twitter are going to bother you, and your homeboys is going to bother you unless they're gassing you up to take the girl's money. So it's, for me, it's more of a, I'm a just take this L and save face, especially when you didn't work during the marriage. I mean, he came up during that marriage. I mean,
so, well, I agree with you. I agree with that. We know acting is hard. It's hard to get roles. She obviously threw some things out there, but you need a launch pad though, because all of that is gone.
Who's to say that she didn't give him one? She could have hooked him up with an apartment or a condo in little Brentwood or something, in a little car. Yeah, wherever. Just saying.
Studio City.
OJville.
Studio City.
And here.
Toluca Lake.
Something like that. And, here's the kids on the weekends, and boom, that's it. And just to make it clean, especially when you've got the media and everybody else in your business.
Right, because who wants a whole trending topic about your choices that you made to make you happy? Then you have to come around and listen to Trent and Jill discuss it on RSVP.
Well, see, I'm gonna be nice, so they're gonna be cool with me.
Always
I
nice.
try to see the balance of the situation. Most of the time, I might sling a little mud, but
Just a little.
okay,
Okay. Okay.
a little.
A little. So we have T. Swarns. Thank you for calling back in, T. Swarns. The lines are hot and they are open, and you are the only brave soul. So tell me your thoughts about this.
Yo, okay, off the top, no, a dude should not be receiving alimony from a woman. I just don't think it's cool that way. I think a good way to put it, maybe if they just like break bread off the top, here's a good amount. You start your life, you know what I'm saying? Roll with that. I understand like maybe if, he's going to keep the kids full time, if there's 3 or 4 kids, okay, well, pay your fair share every month for the kids or whatever. But other than that, a guy saying, I'm used to living this lifestyle and I got to be kept up on this level. No, man, go get it yourself. That's how I feel about it.
You mean if you were married to Oprah, if you were Monique with Daddy,
if you were Kevin Hunter,
if you were Kevin Hunter, Wendy Williams' ex-husband, who is now
good example
filing for bankruptcy.
Yep,
got some issues going on. You wouldn't say, "Listen, I have been supportive, and it is till death do us part." We aren't taking that aspect of it, but we are taking those vows, at least to this point, pretty seriously. No?
No, I can't go out like the scorned widow. You know what I mean? Like I said, it'll be okay. Look, okay, she break him off, maybe, or break me off, $2 million and get started, $3 million or something, and we ended at that. And then I take control of my life from there. I think that's fair enough.
So there's no circumstances ever that you would do it? None. Like, let's say you guys were on equal footing and your wife blew up, like crazily so, Jeff Bezos levels, and then a few years later you guys divorce. You wouldn't be feeling like, I deserve some of this. I put in my time.
Okay. Again, give me a large lump sum when we leave, when we break it off, and I take that lump sum and make it work for myself.
Okay.
But as far as alimony and receiving it over and over, no, come on, don't support me for the rest of my life. I can't ask that because we're moving on, right?
Right. So do you feel that way because that's what you feel a man's role is as far as women, or do you feel that once you are done with a relationship, you are done and there's no need to, have any ties as a man?
A little bit of both. A little bit of both of those. You said it exactly right.
Okay, Tony Yayo says, I can't be a Kevin Hunter. I'd have to have my separate thing. You guys say that, but if you're sitting across a lawyer and you're getting a divorce and maybe things aren't as amicable and you could chill out with $50 million, as a lump sum, that's your spousal support, you'd say no? I don't think so.
Well, that's what I said. A lump sum. Give me one lump sum.
Wait. So the money, the dollar amount can be the same, but how it's delivered to you determines whether it's appropriate or not?
No, receiving alimony definitely does make a difference.
I would feel some kind of way in my heart, man, to keep receiving an alimony payment from this woman the rest of my life until my dying day. I would.
I mean, it wouldn't be to your dying days. Alimony stops when the other party, meaning you, like if you found a wife, so you could fall in love with somebody and then you'd give up your $30 million for love.
And that's going to happen. That's why I say one large lump sum in the beginning, and I take that, make it work for me, and keep pushing. But you used the example you came with, Oprah. Come on now, we can't use the top example.
Okay, I mean, but it happened to Mary J. Blige.
Yeah, I know. I felt bad for her. I had to be honest.
I mean, Kim Kardashian, her divorces weren't clean. Maybe the
Yeah,
two middle ones.
absolutely.
You know, we don't know what happened with Kanye all the way. So it does happen to women. It's not unheard of. It's not
Oh yeah,
impossible.
yeah. Oh no, oh no. When you mentioned it, the first thing I thought about was Mary J. Blige.
Sherry
Absolutely.
Shepherd. You know, Sherry, she
Yep.
almost had a child put off on her that she did not, you
Right.
know,
Right.
create with this person. And she
Right.
was, gonna have to be responsible for it. So, I mean, I guess I'm
Right.
sure some men can relate. Trent, what are your thoughts? You were gonna say something before we.
I don't have these issues, so I really can't speak too much on it. But I think I think most men are going to not take an alimony payment. There's just something about
Thank you, Trent.
a woman financing your life and still having a hand. It's too much involvement and too much red tape.
Well, the girls say that that's what these LA streets are filled with, men that are looking to take care of them. I don't know. I'm just saying, that's a couple of the thoughts that have been
Well,
thrown out there.
that's a. I think we should not even. That's a slippery slope.
I said the girls said.
Yeah.
I did not say that. I'm just saying what I hear around
What
the
what
Twitter
what
streets
what
and so
girls
forth.
what girls are saying this? Or are we talking about city girls? Or are we talking about girls that got memberships over at the Gathering Spot on Adams?
Might be a mixture of both. City girls can have memberships at the gathering spot. I don't know why you guys think that there's either or. There is definitely a ride the beat, ride the middle.
Yeah, it's levels to it for sure.
Right.
But it's sometimes it's a clear distinction. And they're kind of particular about who they let over there on Adams. I almost didn't get in.
I agree. I
Okay,
agree.
okay. Well, T Swarns, what else do you have to share with us for the night before we let you go? Thank you for calling in 2 times because the conversation was just that good and you had to add to it, and we appreciate that here
Oh
at
yeah, absolutely.
RSVP.
Absolutely. I just want to share, hey, for the second night, you've been hot. Things been good. I wish you the best. I think the show is gonna blow up.
Thank you
All right.
so much. I appreciate that so much. Thank you for calling in. Keep checking out. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend.
I will. And Trent,
Appreciate you.
you're the
Thank you for
perfect
calling.
co-host, man.
Appreciate that. Thank you. There it is.
Absolutely.
Boom. All right. So, next up, I teased that there is a show coming out with Judge Faith Jenkins as the host, right? It's a true crime show. It's called Killer Relationships with Faith Jenkins, right? And so, this Sunday, the episode coming up breaks down, it's called Deadly Desire, right? And so, it's a 21-year-old girl named Julie Gonzalez. She disappears from Austin, Texas. Her family is determined to find her and never give up. After a slow start, law enforcement used a national television appearance and a gaming advice to expose the deadly truth, right? So we know that means there's going to be some drama. We know that the relationships are of the male-female variety. So I have 2 questions for you, Trent. One, do you go through dramatic circumstances in your relationships, or do you have boundaries that when these type of things come up, those little issues, of course we're not talking about when they reach the point that they're super deadly. I'm just saying in general though, do you cut it off, or what do? Do you dive down into the toxicity of it all?
Well, first, let's just say congratulations to Judge Faith Jenkins Lattimore on her new show and landing a new gig after People's Court, with Divorce Court. That's number one. Number two, I try not to get into crazy situations in my relationships.
Operative word being try.
Well, here's the thing. I tend to, the last couple of times I've been in relationships, I've been accused of being a ghoster. I tend to not engage drama when I sense it happening, and I just kind of distance myself, and I don't feed into it. So what ends up
Wait, you said you're not a ghoster, or you are?
I've been told I'm a ghoster. I don't think I'm a ghoster. It's just me not engaging in the drama. When you cut the crap off, then I can engage with you. But if it's drama and all, I'm not doing that with you.
You just go absolutely silent. You don't address anything at all.
I go radio silent. You don't hear from me. You don't see me. I don't answer texts. nothing. I don't.
Then that's ghosting someone.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
I come back. Ghosting is leaving and never coming back.
That is not true.
That's true.
Ghosts come back. Ghosts haunt things that they are familiar
Listen,
with. So they come back,
listen.
they go away, they come back, they go away.
When you pull your act together, I will engage. But when you act crazy, I got to go. Because I can't do this with you. And it's a protective measure for myself and for you. Because if I keep going, we might be on the first 48 or something like that.
The first 48, nobody's snitching on the first 48, though, unless they give them a Coke and some Cheez-Its in that room.
Listen, I'm not trying to make it to that room ever.
Neither am I.
But what was the question, though? I try not to engage the drama. I try to have sensible conversations, with people. The last relationship I was in, the person was just not receptive to conversation.
Okay.
So I couldn't talk. You can talk to a person, and when they just sit there and look at you like you're crazy, and they give you nothing, what do? You got to walk away. Because I'm not about to have a conversation with myself with another person sitting right there. It's crazy.
It's crazy?
It's insane.
Well, on the subject of crazy, we have Jerry on the phone line. Thank you so much, Jerry, for calling in. Jerry from Los Angeles. And Jerry's sentiment is he don't do crazy either. So talk to me about it, Jerry. What do you do?
I don't do crazy. I had a somewhat volatile upbringing, so crazy is a trigger for me. I'm hypersensitive to crazy. First indicator of crazy, I'm gone. I don't do crazy. I don't deal with it. The situation that Trent just referred to, that you can't even talk to a crazy person. It makes no sense. And I'm one of those highly logical type of people, so I don't do crazy at all.
What's something that would set you off? What is something that you consider crazy? Because, there are levels to this, and what may be considered crazy or out of pocket for one person might be normal or just a little upset for someone else.
Absolutely. Excellent question. I think that everything is okay as long as it's in balance. When you are emotionally unstable, when you always have to have your way, when you are reckless in consideration for the other, and when you just simply are not willing to listen to a conversation or listen to somebody's point of view, when you're out of balance like that, you tend to be out of balance in a lot of different ways, and those initial indicators, I don't stick around very good. I don't. First indicator of crazy. First indicator of not being balanced in a relationship and not being considerate in a relationship. I don't do that. I'm gone. And I do tend to be more the ghost than I think we need to go our separate ways.
We need to come up with a different term. I don't think it's ghosting, Jerry. It's not ghosting. It's simply not engaging drama. And if you want, if we're ghosting, that let it be that. But I think that mental health and mental sanity is more important. And I'm glad we got this call because, see, a lot of the times we don't get the male perspective, and we don't get to hear men express themselves about what they go through. And there's this idea that men don't have emotions at all.
I agree with that, and we're going to put Jerry on hold, and we're going to get ready to go into our news and sports. When we come forward, we're going to have more with Jerry. We're going to continue on this topic because I am fascinated by men defining what is crazy and opting just to drop out of the sky like Casper. We're going to talk more of that when we come forward. RSVP with Jill Munroe.
RSVP with Jill Munroe is your go-to show for staying in the know. More engaging conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Julius White. Here's the latest from the Black Information Network. Search efforts for the missing vessel used to explore the Titanic are intensifying. Retired Navy submarine Captain Brad McDonald says the less than 24 hours of oxygen remaining is not the issue.
It's more like this vessel is flooded and it's full of water, and that's the problem.
Crews have been searching for the submersible with 5 people on board since it was reported as overdue on Sunday. On Capitol Hill, the House is readying to vote to censure California Congressman Adam Schiff for his role in investigations of alleged collusion between the Trump campaign and Russia. Last week, 20 Republicans voted with Democrats to block the move, objecting to language that could have resulted in a $16 million fine for Schiff. The provision was removed and has now gained full GOP support. I'm Julius White on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network, and BINnews.com.
Need an accident attorney by your side? All you got to do is call the accident guys.
Injured in a car accident or at work? Call the accident guys to speak with a real expert attorney for a free consultation.
Follow the leader. KBLA Talk 1580. Follow the leader.
If you're not following KBLA Talk 1580 on all of our socials, then you're missing out. Download our app and find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and on the web at KBLA 1580.
That's right.
Again, you can find all of our socials at KBLA 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
By the way, if you miss any of our weekday shows in real time, you can always catch up by checking out the podcast of your favorite shows at your leisure. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
Got your black. Follow the leader.
Oh my God.
Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader.
The Los Angeles Urban League helps African American and others in underserved communities achieve true social parity, economic self-reliance, and civil rights. For over 100 years, Los Angeles Urban League has ensured our communities have access to careers with living wages, opportunities to start and grow businesses, and clear pathways to personal and professional growth. Programs like BizCamp, Construction Career Academy, Bob Business Ready, and B-Warp. The Black Wealth Attainment and Retention Program are examples of the ongoing events designed to make our centennial mission to rebuild Black Wall Street right here in LA a reality. To sign up for our newsletter or to support the Los Angeles Urban League with your time, talents, and donations, visit laul.org. That's laul.org. The Los Angeles Urban League is a proud sponsor of Urban Family Focus, Saturdays at 7 a.m. on KBLA Talk 1580.
Hey Dad, how do airplanes fly? What's in this box? Is this tree good for climbing? How are babies made? What does this thing do?
Kids are curious about everything, including guns. Talking to them about gun safety in your home is a good first step, but you can do more. Always keep your guns locked, unloaded, and stored separately from ammunition. Safe gun storage saves lives. Learn how to make your home safer at endfamilyfire.org. That's endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by End Family Fire, Brady, and the Ad Council.
If your Medi-Cal is ending, Cover California is here to help. Cover California is a service from the state that helps you get affordable health insurance. In many cases, at no cost to you, just like with Medi-Cal. We have quality health plans, and we'll help you every step of the way to get the one that works for you and your family. So, if you're no longer eligible for Medi-Cal, check out Cover California. We'll keep you covered. Learn more at coveredca.com.
Hey Dad, how do airplanes fly? What's in this box? Is this tree good for climbing? How are babies made? What does this thing do?
Kids are curious about everything, including guns. Talking to them about gun safety in your home is a good first step, but you can do more. Always keep your guns locked, unloaded, and stored separately from ammunition. Safe gun storage saves lives. Learn how to make your home safer at endfamilyfire.org. That's endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by End Family Fire, Brady, and the Ad Council.
We've got a lot to talk about.
Hi, I'm Zoe Williams, a.k.a. the Voice of Reason, encouraging you to join me weekdays from 7 to 9 p.m. for the world's most intriguing relationship radio roundtable. Every night, I facilitate and encourage our loyal listeners to participate in the most engaging relationship discussions you'll hear anywhere. So make it a point to rendezvous with me, Zoe Williams, the Voice of Reason, Monday through Friday, 7 to 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Trust me, your relationships will never be the same. The VOR is on fire tonight.
Unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black. This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. curating the most compelling stories and delivering them straight to your ears. You're listening to RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
I remember when I lost my mind.
Andy with the on-point musical selections that match our topics. We are talking crazy on RSVP with Jill Munroe. Thank you for checking us out live on KBLA Talk 1580. We have Trent the artist in the studio. We have Jerry from Los Angeles that is holding for us. And we're going to get back to our conversation with him because Jerry was breaking down not only why he doesn't do crazy, but what his red flags are for crazy and why ghosting is perfectly acceptable under those circumstances. So, Jerry, when you decide to ghost someone, do you block their number? What happens at this phase? You just ignore them? Like, because you said they're crazy, so that means that they're going to blow you up. So how do you protect your peace from these crazy individuals?
That's an excellent question. I don't. It's not anything malicious. I don't block them. It's nothing. I just ignore. I just don't get back to them. Just don't follow up. It's this. Who wants to be bothered with it? Once a person reveals themselves as imbalanced and not balanced enough for you, it then is a slippery slope, and it becomes an issue where they're trying to impress upon you their way of thinking, and you just want to get away. You want to get away from trying to be manipulated and talked into something that you know that you don't want, which is what women are good at.
Okay.
There it is.
So does that mean that you never spin the block on these women that you ghost?
Oh, there is never a spin the block.
Really? You just keep them moving. You just
and I say that maybe to my detriment. Maybe one or two deserved a second look, but I just didn't have it in me. But once I'm gone, I'm gone.
Not even a halfway conversation 2 years after the fact. If you see her and she's looking amazing, and you think about the things that were good in that brief interaction, nothing.
There's always a conversation after the fact. There's never enough maliciousness to not be willing to have a conversation. But it's that follow-on conversation. I'd have to get an indicator that maybe things are a little bit back in balance, maybe, or not so out of balance. I'm once I'm done, I'm done. I don't go back. Traditionally, I have not gone back very good.
You keep it
since high
moving
school.
forward under all circumstances. That is really, really interesting because when you have these conversations after the fact, you don't think that being ignored can be considered cruel or maybe cause them to act in ways that they wouldn't just by nature of they feel like their voice isn't being heard in the situation, and maybe it's a misunderstanding. I'm just asking things, putting things out there.
No. I done a good, excellent question. And when a woman feels as though she is not being heard, she gonna double down on trying to be heard. It tends to be, don't even let it go there. Don't even give it a chance to go there.
Because you know what I'm going to say to you, Jerry, right? It feels a little bit to me.
Don't worry, Jerry, you got backup.
It feels a little bit to me like you might like being chased, that you might like being pursued, that you might like seeing the effort just a little bit.
I think
that
everybody likes that.
But we're not talking about everybody. We're talking about Jerry right now.
Everybody likes that to a degree, but if I would have liked it at all, then I would have circled back a couple of more times.
Okay.
It just isn't in me, and I don't know where that comes from. That comes from a long way back. I just don't go back. Once we tried it, I'm all in when we're in, and after we fall off, it's like a sense of futility after that. There's just no sense in going back unless you get a sense that there has been not even a radical change, but the right type of change.
So let me ask you, did something happen in your past that you decided that no second chances, you're annoying me, you're doing a little bit too much, I got to put you on timeout with the silent treatment? Did something bring you to that point, or that's just how you felt?
I don't know if anything specifically brought me to that point. I think having broken up and gone back a couple of times as a youngster, and then getting the same thing when you go back, it just kind of confirms the futility of going back. People change, but people don't change that much. When you're in a intimate relationship, people will reveal who they are. That's who they are, and there's not going to be a whole lot. If there was sincerity to begin with, there's not going to be a whole lot of deviation from that, even when you run into them a couple of years later.
I can agree with that, but also, I mean, there are learning curves when you're getting to know someone. There are things, sometimes
Absolutely.
misunderstandings, communication differences, maybe just, her form of communication is physical touch. Yours might be acts of service, and you guys are confused on the best way to make each other feel valued and so forth. So how long do you give it? How many sort of opportunities or chances if you see something might be a little off, not egregious, but just like, I don't know if I like that? How long do you give the relationship before you do your disappearing act, Mr. Magician?
Like Casper falling out the sky, huh? There is no time limit. There's just only an indicator. First off, excellent question. You got to push through that initial period, that initial feel over, get to know each other. Ain't gonna be this perfect match, but let's see if we can work it out kind of phase. You got to push through that. After you get past that, if you sense that the person is not going to change. I mean, you can when you're in a relationship with somebody and you're talking with them, communicate. You sense how pliable and amenable they are, or how rigid they are on this, that, or the other. You get that. And so, over time, people reveal themselves in short order after they get past that best foot forward stage in a relationship, that get to know you phase and what happened to you phase and all that. When you get past that, people reveal themselves.
That is true. They really do. Do you think, is there a certain level of trauma that you can work with, or can you sometimes, like, not in a negative way, not in a bad way, just in sharing your story with someone you meet, you get to know them and they start discussing maybe some of the things that they've been through? Have you ever decided that that's a little too deep for you, or you're not at the point where you can push through that or work around that? That wouldn't be a situation where you would ghost, right? But maybe it's just too much trauma.
No, that excellent question. I deal in the human condition, so a little bit of what you've been through, is not going to scare me. But it's not a matter of what you've been through. It's a matter of how are you dealing with that now? Have you come to grips with what happened to you, and have you decided to not be held back by that and not let that be your ball and chain, your millstone, as it were? If you have decided to work with your trauma, I'm working with you. If you're working with you, I'm working with you. But if I get the sense that you haven't processed it well, if I get the sense that you're still having unresolved issues, if I get the feeling that you're now playing it out on everybody else because as a defense mechanism before it can be played out on you, if I'm getting the sense that you're still in it like that, I'm sorry. I can't. Sorry. Bye.
No, Jerry, where you going? You're saying bye. Okay, you're saying bye to the situation. Okay, I got it. Well, Jerry, I appreciate all your thoughts.
As I was running my mouth, Jill, I realized where I remember you from.
Where do you remember me from?
I've known 2 Jill Munroes in my life.
Okay.
And one was an angel.
One was an angel, the baddest angel ever, a true California girl, Jill Munroe of Charlie's
Okay.
Angels. I like that.
Okay, but this Jill Munroe was a manager at the Second Soul shoe store in the Fox Hills Mall.
I was? Me?
Weren't you?
I don't know.
Weren't-
I don't think I've ever.
Did you-
I never worked in the Fox
You
Hills
worked for-
Mall. I worked in a sneaker store. It was in the Santa Monica Pavilion way back in the day, but never the Fox Hills Mall. I just went there a lot.
It was called
Wow.
Yeah, it was called
Second
that.
Soul. It was Second Soul, and it was before you worked for Nike.
Okay,
Because
well,
when you worked for
listen,
Second
I
Soul-
didn't work retail before I worked for Nike. I probably worked retail when I was in college, but I did work for Nike. So shout out to you. You do know what you are talking about. Thank you so much, Jerry. Pleasure to talk to you. I hope that you will continue to tune in and call in more because you gave some great insights tonight.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for the show.
I appreciate it.
It sounds good. It sounds good, and it sounds like something I'll be listening to on a regular basis.
Absolutely. And make sure that you are checking in and calling in. When we come forward, we're going to have more with Trent the artist. We are going to talk more trending topics. We might talk about that little relationship thing. And shout out to Jerry again for recognizing me
shout out
for
to
my
Jerry.
days at Nike. You are listening to RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Infusing a sense of fun and entertainment in every episode. You're listening to RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580. More when we come forward.
Despite pushback from franchise owners, the Assembly passes Fast Food Workers Bill. Maisha Cairo here with your K-Black Minute News, brought to you by CaliforniaBlackMedia.org. Assembly Bill 1228, known as the Fast Food Franchiser Responsibility Act, authored by Assemblymember Chris Holden, was passed off the Assembly floor with 42 votes in favor of the legislation, while 22 members of the Assembly voted against the bill. Some reasons Holden and supporters of this bill find it necessary is due to the reported wage theft of fast food workers, claims of violence at work, sexual harassment and assault claims, denied sick days, intense heat, poor workplace safety practices, as well as claims of retaliation for speaking out. Holden was reported saying, quote, "This does not imply that all fast food franchises mistreat their workers. It's clear that we must ensure our fast food workers are able to thrive in their workplace and their communities," end quote.
You're listening to K-Drip, where we play all the best classic water-wasting hits like watering your lawn during the hottest time of the day and leaky faucets. They're tunes from another time because now that we face a hotter, drier future, every drop counts. Despite an extremely wet winter, keep using less water, fixing leaks, and reusing indoor water for your garden. Visit SaveOurWater.com for more ways to conserve. Up next, brushing your teeth with the water on. K-Drip.
Did you know that all City of LA renters have rights? Check out these 3 facts. Residential tenants can't be evicted without reason or just cause. Eviction protection still exists for unpaid COVID-19 rental debt due before March 31st, 2023. And you have 5 days to respond to an eviction notice. 5 days. Many Angelinos may be at risk of losing their home, and that's why we want you to know your rights. Learn more at housing.lacity.org. Be informed, be protected, be at home.
As a dentist, I know what my patients are saying when they really can't speak. She says her gums have been bleeding. Is there anything you can do? Absolutely. You can try New Crest Gum Detoxify and Restore. Yup, New Crest Gum Detoxify and Restore is professionally designed to start healing gums from day one. Right. Healthy gums, healthy mouth.
Crest Gum Detoxify and Restore. Smile, Crest has you covered.
The possibility of lung cancer can be pretty scary, especially if you're one of approximately 8 million current or former smokers at high risk. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know that now there's a breakthrough low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early, and it only takes 60 seconds. You stop smoking, now start screening. For an easy quiz to see if you're eligible, visit SaveByTheScan.org. It could save your life. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
Hey, keeping you informed, entertained, and always ahead of the curve. This is RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
You are checking out RSVP on KBLA Talk 1580 with Jill Munroe. We are in studio with Trent the artist.
Hey.
Trent, we took in a lot of information in that last segment.
Yes.
And I know that you are full of opinions.
Yeah, I am.
Great ones. And you saw some points in Jerry's conversation that you agreed with. Others,
yeah, I agree with most of it.
Let's go.
I'm glad that Jerry called. Thank you, Jerry, for calling. And I like when men are able to express themselves about the inner workings of relationships because we don't get to hear it at all, like I said earlier. And there's this horrific divide that I'm baffled about between black men and black women. There's this constant, like, there's not good men, there's not good women. I hear both sides of it. So it's like, when are we going to come to the table and mesh this and bring it together? And
not anytime soon.
Why do you see? And that's the thing.
I mean,
why?
The reason why I think that is because I think fundamentally, one, we are dealing with, it's twofold. There are outside issues and pressures that, the newer generation, the younger generation, let's be clear, there have always been bad influence, a gold digger mentality, all of these things, misogynist men, all of these things that we talk about with the buzzwords that are popular today. It's always been there. But with the advent of social media and people able to sort of find their tribe or groups that they fit in and are trying on kind of different personas almost, it causes, I think, people to think that, or at least attempt to be loyal to an identity or a thought that maybe they don't all the way feel, but right now it's comfortable, it works for them, and it's the way that they can make sense, so this is why I don't like ghosting kind of along these lines, is because I think communication is key. I think that even if you ultimately decide that this situation isn't good for us, there could be a learning lesson that could come out of that. There could be something to make you both better and make better choices. Go ahead, Trent, roll it out.
I love all that. It's great. It sounds good. Here's the thing. What do you do when you are in a situation where you are being emotionally terrorized? There's not enough communicating in the world. And let's just use myself as an example, okay? You know about my last relationship, okay? There's only so much that you can do. I am a communicator, right? I talk about feelings. Most people don't want to be emotional and talk about feelings and all those things. So what am I to do when I'm laying everything out on the table? I'm basically overextending myself. I'm almost damn near begging for you to pay attention or do something. So I'm supposed to just sit there and take it? No, I'm going to get up and walk away, and I'm not giving you any conversation because I've sat up and talked to you for 2 years, and you ain't said nothing back to me. I'm leaving. I got to go.
I feel you on that, but I think that is a little different from ghosting. Because, see, I think of ghosting
what
do
we call it? What do we call it?
Okay.
That's all I'm saying.
Allow me.
Okay, it's your show. Sorry.
What I will say is, I think ghosting is more temperamental. It's more the childish things. It's more, he didn't call me. He didn't text me back fast enough, or he went out with his friends and I'm mad. I think when I think about ghosting, I think about that. But to your point, like you said, I think with most people, in a situation as such as you're describing, you've had those conversations, I would hope. You've expressed what you are feeling, how you are feeling hurt, confused, whatever you were going through, and you have made that attempt to talk to your partner. And then if it still isn't working, then that's kind of different.
And we need to find another word to replace this ghosting. It's like being emotionally exhausted after you've been terrorized to death. It's like, I'm not going to sit here and continue to give you my time and energy and get nothing in return. I'm going to ghost you.
But you have to admit the players in the house, they probably utilize that mystery thing. I'm taking time for myself. You're wearing me down with all of your talk about all of these other girls and
it's
things like that.
It's not you, it's me.
Huh?
It's not you, it's me.
Yeah, all that drama. It's taking advantage of it. I think with most situations, whether it's relationship dynamics or things like that, it's generally you're dealing with an overcorrection, and you have to kind of take time for that to get that little curve out of the way so that we come back to somewhere in the middle where it's give and take. I think people are afraid to be vulnerable and open and to give that opportunity because no one wants to be taken advantage of. I always say people don't mind being used, they mind being discarded. So I think that that is the difference, and that is what we find with a lot of these situations. And I think that that is what ghosting ultimately feels like to a lot of people, that you got whatever benefit. And I'm not just talking about sexual benefits. I'm saying in general, whether it's conversation, comfort, support, food, you know?
And to that point about feeling discarded, it's like once you, for the person that is discarded, it's like at what point do you think about your actions that cause you to be discarded? You did that.
Maybe.
I didn't do that.
Maybe. Because what we also deal with is, like I said, because people think that they have unlimited options now with social media. They think that they have, because they can see so many things, they think that all of those options are actually available to them. And we know that that's not necessarily the case. So it causes them to move in ways that aren't necessarily fair. They aren't necessarily, you know, you might have 10, 15 years ago, giving someone the benefit of the doubt on the situation. But now you're like, oh, I could just go and scroll up Boom Boom Biana and we could get it popping, the Instagram.
I don't give people the benefit of the doubt for one simple reason. In 1991, Pebbles gave a great song called Giving You the Benefit. Yes, and she did it already, so we wouldn't have to in 2023. So you are not getting the benefit of the doubt from me.
I could be a trip, but
I choose not
to.
Not choose. Yeah, exactly. See? So I walk away because I'm not going to.
Shout out to Pebbles, another MCA record
Sister Perry
label.
Now
Sister Perry, excuse me, Sister. But you know, we were talking about earlier. New Edition of Bobby Brown both released their seminal albums in 1988 on June 20th. Perry. Pebbles was a label mate of theirs, so
sure was.
Shout out to all that.
That was my very first tour, actually, the Any Heartbreak tour with I'll Be Sure, New Edition, and Bobby Brown at the Forum.
I went to that show.
Yep.
I still have my backstage pass sticker and my ticket from that concert. As a matter of fact, I went in. There was 2 shows.
Yes.
They came in like November, and then they came back in February of '89 or something like that. And I think on the second show when they came back, I'll Be Sure went to jail because he was accused of a crime. But anyway.
Good old LB.
So. Thank you guys for rocking on with us on night 2 of RSVP with Jill Munroe. I appreciate you checking in. I appreciate is it Kwamel? I'm sorry that I'm messing up your name. It is not intentional. I'm going to get it right because I know that you're going to be back here tomorrow night and we're going to have more conversation and we're going to be great friends. So Kwamel said, "Is this the friend with the messy relationship opinions?" Trent, Trent just has opinions, very strong opinions. He's your keep it real friend. So we all, I think, if we
messy
think about
relationship opinions, not at all.
I think that we all have some things that someone might be considered messy or a little complicated that we believe in or are okay
Humans
with.
are complicated.
Human nature.
Yeah,
exactly. So that is my point. But
don't like mess or drama.
No, we don't. Well, sometimes you do. Drama can make things exciting for some people. Obviously,
fun drama.
An appreciation for it.
Yes, on my show they do.
So thank you guys for rocking with me on RSVP with Jill Munroe. When we come forward, you will hear the best of KBLA. Tomorrow night on RSVP, we will have an interview with Scoot Henderson, NBA draft pick. We'll know where he's going tomorrow. We will also have Tiffany Mills, showrunner of several shows that you are familiar with. She's going to be checking in with us here in studio. And you never know, Trent may pop back up because the Keep It Real friend.
It's Thursday night.
Always keeps it. Actually, he won't be popping back up.
I'll be hanging out with good old Jill Scott tomorrow.
That's right. So thank you guys once again for rocking with RSVP from Jill Munroe. Make sure you are following us on all our socials. Leave us feedback. Leave me feedback. I enjoy it. Thank you. And you have an amazing night. It is still the first day of summer. So make sure you do something sunny tomorrow. All right, guys. Have a good night.
Inflation, no chance to increase finance. Bills pile up.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Mike Moore. Here's the latest from the Black Information Network. The Coast Guard says underwater noises have been detected in the search